The message last time was given, and that was surrender yourself. Let me repeat. Surrender yourself. Can you see the difference? I'm not saying surrender yourself. I'm saying surrender yourself. Can you see the difference? That pause, that space makes the meaning totally different, even though the word is exactly the same. Put them together, I surrender to you. And you can say, I'm surrendering myself. But if somebody said, no, don't bow, don't do any rituals, just surrender yourself, something that's inside. The self is not outside. When you address yourself and say, I am saying this, where is this I that you just used? And what do you mean by when you use I? Would you like to expand on it? Would you like to explain to me what do you really mean when you say I? What image, what picture should I draw as me when I am saying I? What this I should think of that I? And now we are going to be both in trouble, because you will turn right back and say, well, I'll answer you if you answer me first. See, that's how we get trapped in the intellectual jargon created by the language, and we think we are smart. A newly ordained seeker attended a few lectures from the mystical associations, and he thought he now is capable of having a spiritual discourse. And there was a young man, young child. This guy goes to him, pulls out a candle like this, take a match, lights it, and the candle is lit up. And he asks the little child, did you see me lighting the candle? He said, yes. Then can you tell me, where did this light come from? And the child very innocently goes to the candle with the two fingers, sniff it off. Candle is off now. And he looks at the man and says, did you see me snuffing the candle? He said, yes. Please tell me, where did it go? If you can explain it to me, where did it go? I'll tell you where it came from. What's going on here? Sounds very exciting. How intellectual. How philosophical. But what is this? It's a play with words. Light never came from anywhere, light never went anywhere. It was always there, it is still there. In one form, it is shining, in the other form, it is non-shining. Energy don't come and go anywhere. Even the initial scientific training of every child in the high school is told energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So is the case with the matter. Matter can neither be created nor destroyed. And the moment the student raises the hands, Professor, would you please expand on it? If it can neither be created nor destroyed, then where does all matter come from? And now the professor is stuck. I remember my inter-college days. For 2 years, I continued harassing the professor of physics. Because they kept on saying mass and energy are interchangeable according to the Einstein's law. Famous A equal to E equal to mc square. So I got my professor of physics the first day he taught that theory, and I asked him, is heat the energy? He said, yes. I said, okay. I'm going to take a ball and I'm going to heat it. Is the energy in the ball? He said, yes, it's hot, it's radiating. Okay. Since the energy can be converted into mass, that means the weight of this ball that's heated should be more than the weight of the ball that was cold. And he said, that can't be done. And I kept on saying, either your law is wrong or you are wrong. And we kept on arguing for full 2 years. By the time I graduated from that college and left the question behind. It took me 40, 50 years of my life to sit here today and tell you that this was nothing but intellectual garbage. Because energy doesn't come from anywhere, energy doesn't go from anywhere. The biological sciences till today are arguing the fact at what time does the life start. Is it the very first week, second week, third week, and medically now they have settled on the 6th week. And if you go back to the same doctor and say, doctor, the first cell that came from the mother, is it alive or dead? The answer is, if it was dead, it would have flushed out of the system. That means that half the cell with the 23 chromosomes is alive. Same is true on the other half of the cell. That is also alive. Because unless they are alive, they cannot join. So now you tell me, at what point did the life start? And they would not admit their folly. That life is always here. It never came from anywhere. It never went anywhere. It just changed the form. When it changes the form, it manifests. If I have all the components of this laptop scattered on this table, can I see the laptop? Can I type it? Can I read anything? Obviously no. So then what I have to do? I have to arrange those parts in a specific sequence and apply the electric charge to those parts, and suddenly it comes to life. So now if I ask you the question, how did this happen? What is your answer? It was always there. The only thing is, I did not have a specific configuration to demonstrate it. Same is the case with the human body. Human life, consciousness, energy, Atman, whatever you want to call it, it goes nowhere. It stays here. Whether the body is here or not is irrelevant. Because if somebody takes a hammer and breaks this laptop down, where did its capacity to type go? What happened? If you smash this computer, what happens? If you break this body, what happens? That energy never came anywhere. This system is put together in a certain sequence, the lungs and the heart and the brain and this. Once they are arranged in a certain way, the energy manifests just as it is manifesting now. So when I'm saying your self, I am referring to that self which is always there, which never goes anywhere. Because if you don't surrender that self of yours, then your ego is going to take over every choice you make in life. Every action will become egotistical behavior. The only way it manifests as every action becomes a non-action. Wow. These guys are gone nuts. They are putting contradictory words in the same sentence. You are acting as a non-actor. You become an actor when the ego identifies with the action. If the ego is not identified with the action, this is what is called selflessness. The message last week was Nanak kau prabh rakh le, surrender. You are the savior, you are the doer, you are the protector, you are the creator, and you are the destroyer, you are the sustainer. The only difference is you are manifesting through a container. Content remains the same. Content never comes from anywhere, never goes anywhere. If you go to the ocean and take a bucket with you and push the bucket down, and you will notice that the water has flown into the bucket. And if your child was to ask you, Mom, where did the water in the bucket come from? What are you going to say? Because if there was no bucket, means there was no boundary, no shell, no container. You would not be able to separate and see the water in the bucket and the water outside. You would not be able to see them differently, can you? Okay, so now I'm going to pull the bucket out. Water is still inside. That water has now adopted the shape and form of the bucket. Had you taken a cup, it would have adopted the shape and form of a cup, because it has no opinion of itself. So I put the bucket on the side and I asked the child, is the water in the bucket and the water in the ocean the same? What would be the answer? Obvious. It's the same. Mom, I just saw you. Okay, so now I'm going to put a lid on it. and I'm going to bring another bucket and put this bucket in that bucket and another bucket, put that bucket in that. I'm going to do that 6-7 times, every time putting the bucket and covering it up. Now I'm going to ask the question to the third person. What is this? He's going to say bucket. And I'm saying, no, it is not a bucket. It's a water from the ocean. And he's going to say, you have lost your mind. Where is the water? And I'm saying, it is in the bucket. No, he's going to come and take one lid off and one bucket off, and he's still going to find the bucket. The only way what I am saying is going to be meaningful to this person is when all the 7 layers are taken off. Until then, we can argue and fight and kill in the name of whatever the Creator is. We will not agree with each other. Because the eyes are stopping at the container. It is not going up to the content. It has no capacity unless the individual is a meditator. So the surrendering in spirituality is not going to an institution and donating some money or some hours or for some service or this and that. That is a social service. That's not a service for him. Service for him is that essence, that drop of the ocean which considers itself to be separate from the ocean, now better accept and surrender that individuality. The word individual means something that cannot be divided. Indivisible. The word individual. Are we individuals? Have we ever counted the number of masks we wear all through the day? Do I have the same mask when I am sitting down with my wife as compared to sitting down here? Didn't I change my face mask? Which is in Greek called persona. From there the word personality. Our persona changes every moment. With boss we are different, with a friend we are different, in the market we are different, parents, spouses, children, business partner, friends. Every relationship has a different mask, and we call ourselves individual. I can show you my parts right now, how many different parts I am. I am a conglomerate of different identities which can be separated and seen separately. I am not an individual yet. I will become an individual when myself becomes so identifiable, so clear to me, that I am now capable of saying, I surrender myself to you. Actually, bowing before any god or idol or whatever, that's exactly what it means. We don't even know that when we bow our head, we are actually saying, I take everything that defines my I, which is right here. The memories, experiences. I pour them out just as I can pour a glass of water by tilting it. That's the meaning of bowing. Now I'm empty. And I have come to you My trash is out. I want your spirituality put back into my head, which is empty now. But do we go with an empty head anywhere? Actually, we consider an empty head as a curse, isn't it? Airhead, empty head is somebody. And the mystic is saying, if you are an airhead, you are ready to be accepted there. If you are empty, you are ready to be accepted there. But there's another term. This guy is full of himself. Opposite to the empty is being full of yourself. Never stop talking about yourself. And never stop putting down the other. Never stop finding faults with the other. We always say we should not listen to the bad things. We should only listen to the good things. But there's one caveat. When we are talking of ourselves, only good things come out, and when we are talking about the others, only bad things comes out. So we are listening to both, good and bad, but good only about the self and bad about only with the other. And the trick to become a mystic is reverse this process now. Look at your shortcomings and get the goodness from the others. When you get to that state, you start emptying yourself. You start realizing and crystallizing yourself. And the message was, surrender that crystallized self. And once you do that, tat tak hove saadh sang bin se sobhaa soch, then all kinds of memories and thoughts, positives and negatives and worries and hopes and frustrations and elations, they all disappear. Because positive and negative drives the outside world. Equanimity drives the inner side. The outer world needs two. The inner world is actually absolute enemy of the two. It wants to stay at one single aspect. When does the single aspect come? What if it does happen? The next hymn answers that question. So I put this introduction for you together so that you can see that the paragraphs are not separate, even though the title is, we are talking about 12 months. And the reality is, no, we are not talking about 12 months. We are talking of a process, events, an evolutionary process on the scale of spirituality. So the last word was katke. Kattak, Kartik. In the literal sense, it was the month of Katte. In the spiritual sense, it was how your thought process are all jumbled up, all mixed up. And through that confusion, Kattak Karma Kamamane, you are making choices because with the help of a confused mind. Have you ever noticed that when we are talking, we start talking, we don't finish the sentence, another thought comes and we go in that direction without finishing the first thought? Have you ever caught yourself? That's a sign of Kattake. There's so many ideas coming around. If you want to really have fun with this, it can be an enjoyable condition. Watch your 2 ears trying to tell you, and what? Slow down, slow down. And he can't, he has so much. He's jumping from this idea to that idea, this friend to this friend, this toy to this toy, and he's not completing a single sentence. And you say, I can't understand you. But he understood everything he wanted to say. Half sentences for him was enough, and he moved on to the next one. Take a drive with your 2 years old and watch what happens. Mom, why is sky blue? While you're thinking an appropriate answer for his age, and he's going to say, Mom, squall ran again in front of your car. Did you notice? So wait, what happened to the sky? He's not waiting for the answer. And he was not concerned with the answer. He just has this curiosity bubbling. And he's jumping from one to the other without completing anything. Which is a kattakakaramakamamane dosanaka. That was last week. And the answer, eventually the conclusion was, surrender only then. Because what is making you run is your ego gratification. It just keeps finding new things and dropping the old without using either one of them. A devil and his disciple are walking on a beach and there is a guy in front of them. Beautiful parable. And the guy bends down on the beach, picks up something, and the disciple asks the master, Master, what happened here? And he said, Sonny, the guy just found a kernel of truth. And the devil and disciple said, then we should do something. He said, no, just wait and watch. He takes that piece of truth, puts in his pocket, goes only a couple of steps and finds another one. He picks up that one also, put it in the pocket, and every time he finds something and picks it, the disciple is going nuts. Master, why are not you doing something? If this guy finds all the truth in the world, we will be out of business. And he said, but don't worry about it. Then suddenly, at one step, when he picks up another thing and he goes to his pocket, he finds that the pocket is full. He cannot put any more. So he sits down on the beach, pulls everything that he has so far picked up and start arranging them in the order of importance. The least important truth is dropped in his own mind. This is the least important for me. So now he puts the rest of them back. After a few steps, find another one, he goes to the same step again, rearranges them, find the least important and throws the least important out. And the master says to the disciple, see, look, you don't have to do anything to the man. Just teach him how to arrange and put a priority. He will be busy all his life rearranging the importance of each truth he finds in life, using not a single one of them. Because he's busy collecting. Isn't it what we do? We take a vacation and go to Nepal and go to a Buddhist monk, and 2 weeks of that doesn't help, and then we come back. And now we want to go to a Christian seminary, and then we come back and we now want to try the Hindu technique of worshipping. And that doesn't work, now we want to try the Muslim, and we keep on cycling. Not using a single one. Just picking, discarding. Picking, discarding. that what needed to be done is, if you have found a single kernel of truth, you should have used it. Put it to practice on yourself. Give it a chance to do the job for you. And unless you are completely disappointed by this, stay with it. Don't go look for another one. Because these are all trails. You are trekking to the top of the mountain by different trails. Looking from one trail to the other trail, the experience can be different. This trail there may be too many trees, and this trail there may be too many mountains. But when you go both at the top and look down, they were all leading to the same place. It was one top. That's not what we do. We stop right in the middle of the trail and ask either, how is your trail? Oh, I'm just watching barren, high stones, different colors, the beauty is marvelous. And the other one say, you lost your mind. Come to this side, this is greenery and the trees and the plants and the colorful birds. And the third one say, you both are crazy. Look at the snow that is going along with my trail. And we are standing there arguing and fighting and trying to say, you are wrong. Mine is better. When we get into that trap, then Katake Karma Kamavnik style continues. But if we accept the advice that was given at the conclusion of the last stanza, which was, once again, Nanak ko prabh rakh leho mere saahib bandi moj, kab tak hove saadh sang bin say sabha soch. Become surrender and become single-minded. When you become single-minded, what happens? You really have come home. You are running out. The word for this stanza is Manghir, pronounced Manghir or ma in our language, when we are using these words as the name of a month. But that's not how it is used here. Manghir. Mang means mind, man, mind. Ghar, inside. If you accepted the message in the last paragraph, then what will happen? Manghir maahi sohandee-aa. You have come home. Your mind. The first M represents the mind. The next two letters, Ghar, represents your inner sanctuary. Manghir maahi sohandee-aa. Sohandee-aa means you are now enjoying the blissfulness of your inner life. The mystical life is lived inside, not outside. Manghir maahi, within your own sanctuary of your thought process. You are now sohandee-aa. You are enjoying it. You are living it. A blissful life. Each one of us have experienced this at least once in our life. when maybe we are sitting by ourselves, whether alone in the house or out on the beach or on top on the mountain, or two of you, it doesn't matter. You have gone inside. Manghir maahi, Manghir. You have come within and you are living a blissful life. Manghir maahi sohandee-aa. How did this happen? Said because you followed the advice given in Kattak Karma Kamamane. Given in that stanza, you are given a advice to surrender. When you surrender, you become one with one. Then you are not separate anymore. The container which was separating the two essence is no more. The content is meeting the content. So when the drop meets the ocean, can you imagine the celebration? Manghir maahi sohandee-aa, har pir sang baith-rhee-aah. Har pir, the husband of us all. Har. Har means the creator, pir means the husband. It is like a wife on the wedding night sitting with the husband is in the blissful moment of first meeting. It is the soul sitting with the husband of us all enjoying the first meeting. It is that blissful. There is no so-called sensual excitement. No. It is the peace of not even a single wave on the surface of the ocean. Not a single wave. Complete tranquility. Har pir sang, husband of us all, her. Sang, sitting with him. Baith-rhee-aah literally means, baith-rhee-aah means to sit down. That bliss cannot be described and cannot be compared with any bliss you have ever experienced, including your LSDs and your mushrooms or whatever you want to call it. You won't compare. There are no words in the dictionary of humanity to describe that state of existence. And those who ever experience this, tinki sobhaa kya ganee je saahib maylrhee-aah. Right here, a rhetorical question, which is, how are you going to describe those who have reached this stage? What words will you use? Tinki sobhaa, characteristics. How lucky, how blessed, how good. What words will you use? Not possible, because the experience is not of this world, hence the explanation cannot come from this world. That is why every mystic, once achieving that state, has completely become quiet. Those who don't understand what's going on inside them, they can make all kinds of remarks about them. Oh, he doesn't know anything. He's being just too cute. He's playing smart. Because the moment he opens his mouth, he will show his stupidity. That's why he's silent. That's how the outside world looks at it. And the one who has achieved, all he does is just smile. He doesn't defend, doesn't explain, because whatever the word will be used, it will be far short of what that experience is. Some of you might know that the Buddhism struggled in India for 1500 years to establish itself. And the biggest complaint about Gautama was that whenever anybody went to him to say, have you experienced an enlightenment? Have you seen God? And he would not answer. He would just sit quiet. No matter how much they are prodding him, say something, he will sit quiet. And in the privacy of the congregation and his disciples, whenever they will ask him, why don't you respond? They are using this against the whole Sangha, that he knows nothing. And he would tell his disciples only. He said, no matter, the moment I open my mouth to say something about him, it has become wrong. Because it's never complete. The language talks in duality. He is beyond duality. What word should I use? I cannot find the word in the language. So they are calling me an ignorant. I am at peace with it. Because the ignorant is opposite of the enlightened one. Why bother? Eventually, Vedanta pushed Buddhism out of the country, ran them out, and the first place where they were able to put their roots down was in China. Because the Chinese civilization by that time has evolved through Lao Tzu to a certain level. They knew the language of non-duality. Eastern mind does understand the language but does not live it. Living the language life of a non-duality, the entire Western and European culture becomes the enemy. Because for them, it is hell and heaven, right and wrong, good and bad, reward and punishment. The whole system is built around duality. Getting to the non-duality, getting out of the positive and negative is tinki sobhaa kya ganee. How are you going to describe it? Who are you talking about? Je saahib maylrhee-aah. Those who have become one with one, how are you going to describe them? They have no identity. The drop is already in the ocean. How are you going to point out that drop? Where is it? Under what condition it is? But that drop is not drop anymore. What is it? It is the ocean now. That separation was the painful thing. That's why you're feeling the drop. If you don't want to feel helpless in life, stop being alone. Join him with you, or you join him. In the very first battle that Muhammad fought with the Meccans, he lost it. On the way back, only two people, Muhammad and his disciple. And they are running back and the entire army is chasing them. It's a documented history. Now they know they cannot outrun them. They find a cave and go inside the cave. But the disciple is still concerned that they are going to come, they are going to find us, and they are going to kill us. We are just two of us and there are so many. Beautiful response by Muhammad. And he says, Allah Baksh, you are forgetting somebody. We are not two. We are three. He is right here. He is with everyone. He is all pervading. Why do we keep on counting him out? And the story goes that in the mouth of that cave, a bunch of spiders weaved a fresh net. The army comes, stands right in front of the mouth of the cave and look at that net, cobweb. And say, well, nobody can be there. The net is not broken. So no need to check inside the cave. They just look at the net and go away. A true story from the life of Muhammad, who believed the God is always there for everyone, for every moment of the life on this planet. Do we have such faith? Ask yourself. Do we really believe him in like that? That I'm not alone? Because I face this question in this country particularly by the retired or widowed or divorcees, and they want to use me as a marriage counselor or a dating site. Can you suggest me a man or a woman? What do you mean I'm running a marriage bureau? Oh, I'm very alone. And I always tell them, you are not alone, but you are lonely. You can be lonely amidst a crowd of thousands. But you are never alone. Get this out of your mind. And if you start making your companionship with that energy, your loneliness will slowly disappear. You are talking totally impractical. Okay. You came in for advice, I gave you one. Such souls who make friendship with him, become one with him, go beyond the language. They go beyond the words. तिनकी sobhaa kya ganee ye saahib maylrhee-aah. Because for them, the outside world means nothing. No matter how pretty, how decorated, how full of flowers and fragrances it is. Their fragrance is coming from inside. What is that from? Tan, man, ma-oli-aa, raam, saaDh, sang, sahaylrhee-aah. Their mind and body system. Tan means body, man means mind, ma-oli-aa means it is completely blooming. Blooming with what? Raam. Ram word is used here as a representative of the creative energy. God, Allah, Vaheguru, Christ, whatever word you want to use. It's a symbol of the creator. Tan man ma-oli-aa raam. How did this happen? Look at the word is used. Sang saadh sahaylrhee-aah. Sahaylrhee literally means friends. Now there is no complaint. Now there is a friendship. Now we can party with him. Now we can laugh with him. We can joke with him. Now we can dance with him. We can have fun with him. Why? Sang sahaylrhee-aah. We become friends. Connected in the inside and friends on the outside. Both inner and the outer are balanced. Jinee raavi-aa parabh aapnaa se disan. Tin dukh kabhoo utrai se jam ke vas padhiya. Tan man ma-oli-aa raam se sang saadh sahaylrhee-aah. Now the opposite of that. Those who have not done it, saaDh janaa baahree se rahan ikaylarhee-aah. Just the example I give. Ikaylarhee-aah literally means to be lonely and alone at the same time. Akeli. If you are saaDh janaa baahree, those who are in this process and have achieved something, if you are running away from them rather than toward them, say rahan ikaylarhee-aah, then they are not only lonely from inside, they are alone from outside as well. Why? Lonely probably you can understand, but why alone? Because this ego wants something that this ego doesn't want. And there is a clash. So we may be sitting together, we may be lying in the same bed, yet we are completely alone. You'll be surprised. In the recent years, the sale of the king-side beds are increasing faster than the double and single. Because when the husband and wives are angry, they want to be on the absolute opposite edge of the bed. Ikaylarhee-aah. Being together, yet so alone, yet so lonely. Why? It's in the same room, same bed. Why? Because both are separated from him. The real bond, the real glue, that doesn't exist. So now it is a matter of containers only, nothing to do with the content. And we have a saying in our language that even if you put two parts together on the shelf, they will strike each other and make a noise. Because the relationship is at the surface. दो भांडे इकट्ठे हों तो खड़कणगे. What does that mean? Body, bodies, parts. They are going to strike. Why? Because they are both protecting their boundary. And anybody who tries to encroach upon the other's space, there's going to be a strike. There's going to be a pushback. Try telling this table to accommodate this chair. It's going to say, leave me where I am and you make your own space. They're going to strike. They're going to create noise. That is why those souls who have gone in the opposite direction of the ultimate creative energy, under any excuse, it doesn't matter what the explanation. I am away from you because you are a Muslim and I am a Sikh. So why should I be together? Well, how I am a Sikh and how are you a Muslim? Show me the certificate when you were born. Did God send you with a certificate or me with a certificate? If it is not, then are we not conflicting with each other at the surface level, at the body level, at the language level, culture, customs? Everything to do with the outside is different. But everything to do with the inside is exactly the same. So if the existence is on the outside, the clash is absolutely bound to happen. The people who are talking and conducting workshops of world peace, they have no clue. Oh, Geneva, there is going to be conference of 127 countries and all the religious scholars are going to come. Oh my God. You know what they are going to do? They're going to sing their own song. And that song is going to be only heard by the people who are in that conference hall. And that will be end of that effort of world peace. Every world peace effort ends that way. Because the effort is on the surface level. Nobody is looking at the internal revolution that's required. Today the whole world is revolting. For what? All the outer things. Get the Egyptian Hosni Mubarak and put the Morsi in, same problem. Today a new inqilab started. Firing took place, 17 people were injured and 7 killed. Between those who say this is not the kind of democracy we were revolting for, and the other one saying we won the election. Who the hell are you? Going on right now. Their religion is not even different. Their holy book is not different. The conflict is still there. Why? From the outside, you are a Shia and I am a Sunni. And that difference is enough for us to kill each other. Get this out of your system. Stop relating at the level of the body. What is the conflict between a man and a woman? Well, I am a woman, you are a man. What is so difficult to understand? Yeah, but you came from the same source I came from. You breathe the same air I do. You drink the same water I do. You eat the same food I do. The food that goes inside you nourishes you. Food that goes inside me nourishes me. Which is that energy that is making it happen? So why are we not focused on that energy that is making the nurturing and growing and breathing and living and laughing and crying possible? Why not look at that? Then we can enjoy meeting at the surface and then going apart, because the surface cannot stay in touch. If you don't believe me, you can try it right now. Hug somebody and just stay there for 2 minutes. Don't release and don't move. And then watch inside what happens. Doesn't the energy start saying, no, let me go? How are you going to hold me? But can that happen on the soul level? If I put one light and light another lamp, and those two lights start lighting together, do they want to go separate? Does one flame tell the other, get out? One body will tell the other, leave me alone now, enough is enough. I know you love me. Let me breathe. Surface cannot stay in touch forever. But the inner energy will never want to separate, it cannot separate, it will not separate. You just need to learn to live at that level, experience that level, believe in that level. The bodies can go away. They can be staying 10,000 miles away. Don't you call your home back in Iran and say, no, I was just thinking about you. Where is that connection? Across so many thousand miles? Instantaneous? The plane might take 14 hours to get there, but the thought is already there. The feelings are already there, and they are being shared, and both are holding the telephone, and sitting alone in a room, and talking and crying and laughing. Is that happening at the body level? Impossible. It is happening at a different level. Experience it, know it, remember it, internalize it, see the difference. Get out of your mind. Katake. Get out of the jargon, that memories, and things that you have collected. Get to the simple level. Otherwise, saaDh janaa te baahree se rahan ikaylarhee-aah. You are going to be spending lonely and alone life. And then, if you turn it around and you don't like that type of lifestyle, then dukh na kabhoo utrai se parhee-aah. If you don't do this, then you are in the bondage of time and space. Jump. Then you are in the bondage of time and space. If you want to get out of the bondage of time and space, jinee, raavi-aa, parabh aapnaa se disan kharhee-aah. Those who are truly in love with their own Creator, which is not separate from you, is only hiding as a drop of an ocean inside your container. And you need to manifest that. You need to experience that out. That is possible only, say, this kharhee-aah. Then it is everyday function, every moment of function. This is not something that you can watch like a serial running 8 o'clock in the evening of half an hour. That's not going to work. This is not a serial running like that. No, it is every breath that goes in, he goes in with it. Every breath that comes out, he comes out with it. All you need to do is deepen that awareness. Forget about all meditations, all exercises, all rituals. Every time you breathe, just say, welcome God. And every time you breathe out, say, thank you God for supplying your energy. Enough. Just do that. How simple it is. Yet how difficult it is. Can you do that with every breath? Why not? Because we have decided to put the breathing on autopilot. Do we breathe consciously? Do we say now the breath is going in and now the breath is coming out? We have outsourced it. Right? As America is outsourcing the IT function to India, you do this. We have outsourced the breathing function to the physical body. How does this take care of? How does the body remember? Body takes in certain amount of energy inside, vital energy, not just oxygen. That topic is for the doctors. The doctors will tell you that the oxygen absorbed in the red cells becomes the fuel for the rest of the organs to be supplied. No, that is a mechanical process. That is the electricity flowing through this circuit. But the electricity is not making the television light up and the word process start working and the TV speech does. There's something else behind it. That's what we call life energy. Life energy can be actually seen with these naked eyes. Anybody who wants to experience this, start exercising pranayama. What does pranayama means? Whenever you breathe, be aware of your breath. Just keep watching right at the tip of your nose. And try to, first you will experience, your nostril will feel the experience. These cells, these nerve endings right on the outside the nose will feel the first touch of the air going in. When you become aware of that touch of the air and you are watching a shaft, a round shaft of air will go through the nostril. And as your meditation becomes deeper and you start watching, you will watch that it went in and it stopped for a fraction of a moment. At that time, you are neither breathing in nor breathing out. Then you will become aware that that energy, that air that had gone in, has already downloading the energy part, the oxygen and the life energy. And the carbon dioxide is coming to come out. And you will feel at your nostril tip again when the entire thing is pushed out. And when that happens, there will be another fraction of a moment when it will stop. And then it will reverse the direction and start coming in again. When? How does the body control that timing? It just waits when it needs more energy. The physical demonstration of that would be, put the fingers on your nose and mouth. A time will come when the body will just not allow you to keep that going. It will force you to open the mouth or the nostril so that it can go in. Same way, if you hold it inside and the carbon dioxide starts building through the blood, it will force you to open your mouth and let the waste go outside. If you become proficient enough in observing all these things, then a time will come when you see something going inside, right in the center of that shaft, there will be a bright white light. That is the prana energy. The outer cylinder is the oxygen that runs the body. Right in the center is the life energy that is keeping you alive. The body can be supplied the oxygen by just putting any heart-lung machine, pump the air. Why can't just pumping the air keep the patient alive? Because the doctors can supply you the oxygen, they cannot supply you the life energy. That's coming from somewhere else. Scientists would not talk about it. They would not confront it. This is all nonsense, jargon, mumbo jumbo. They laugh it off. But go ask any yogi of pranayama and he or she will actually give you the commentary as to what is going on in their breathing cycle. It is that life energy we are talking about. So those who have become friend and put that in the memory with every breath going in, every breath going out, jinee, raavi-aa, parabh, aapnaa, say disan, nit kharhee-aah, then they are forever in presence, forever in attention. Ratan, javayhar, laal, jarhee-aah. These words, ratan, javayhar, laal, they are all precious stones, diamonds, rubies, pearls, etc. And people start using these words in physical sense. That's not why they are here. The nature has given a quality to a diamond. You see this candle lighting, but look underneath the candle. There is a shadow. It is giving the light to the others, but living in the darkness by itself. That's why mysticism cannot be compared, even though it's a light, but it's not a candle light, because it has a shadow. Now you take a finely cut diamond and put it on the table, and you'll be surprised to see diamond doesn't have a shadow. The light it reflects in all directions, that the shadow disappears. Shadow is compared with ignorance, light is compared with awareness. Light is an enlightenment, shadow is ignorance. That is why mystical experiences are compared with diamonds and pearls and gems. This is not the type of awareness which carries its own shadow. Ratan, javayhar, laal, kant. Kant means the throat, but not this throat. It's talking about the inner sound. That knowledge becomes so transparent, so illuminating for those who have followed that path. Nanak bache tood tin prabh sarni dar padiyan. O seeker, find such company. Bache means to desire. Tur means the company, the contact. Develop the longing for those who have gone that road, gone that path, and go seek that companionship, seek that company, so that you can also walk on the same path they are walking. Manghir parabh aradhana bahree-aah janamrhee-aah. And if the mind comes to its home, Manghir, if it comes to its homes and stays in his memory and meditation, then bahree-aah janamrhee-aah, then there is no possibility of cycle of life and death continuing forever. It will end here and now. So with that, it's a hymn number 10 on page 135. So we'll take a pause. Thank you all for coming. If anything I said offended anybody, any sentiments, sensitivities, I sincerely apologize. If anything touched you, this is a message from the beyond. Please take it. It might help to revolutionize your life. So now, if there is any comment or questions, the lines are still open.